Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial will show you how to make these really cute high-waisted bikini bottoms. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. For this project, I'm taking a weight 4 100% wool thread, and I'm taking my 5mm hook. So to get started, you're just going to make a slip knot. And then once you have a slip knot, I am making the base of the bikini bottom first, and I'm going to make a size small to medium, so you can copy the number of chains that I'm doing if you would like. If you need a larger size, perhaps add 2 to 3 more chains to this initial chain. Yeah, so I'm just going to chain a total of 7. Once I have the 7, I'm going to block that last chain with my thumb, and I'm going to chain an additional 2. Once I have the 2, I'm going to wrap the yarn around the hook, place my hook through that chain that we blocked off with our finger, and I'm going to place my hook through and place a double crochet through this chain. So a double crochet, all you're going to do is yarn over, pull through the initial chain. You'll have 3 left on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, pull through 2. That is a double crochet. So we're just going to place one of those in each of the remaining chains in this row. So once you've reached the end of the row, to begin on row 2, you're just going to chain 2, flip over your work, and we are going to start increasing. So normally this first chain of the row right here, this is connected to the chain 2, so that wouldn't count if you're not increasing. You wouldn't use this as your first chain of the row, you would use the next chain. We are just going to prepare for a double crochet and then go through that chain that's connected to your chain 2. So we are going to be going through that chain, placing 1 double crochet. So technically you're going to have, this is like 2 double crochets coming out of the same chain. So this counts as your increase. Now I'm just going to go through the remainder of the row, placing 1 double crochet through each chain. So then once you're at the end of the row, make sure that you are placing a double crochet above each double crochet beneath it. So as you can see, this little curved one is 1, so make sure that you're not accidentally skipping a double crochet. So I'm just going to place 1 double crochet in the very last chain as usual, but then I'm just going to add 1 more. So we're going to have 2 double crochets in the very last chain. And then to get started on row 3 and all of the rows remaining, you're just going to chain 2, flip over your work, and you're going to add your first double crochet into the chain that's connected to the chain 2. So you're going to be placing your first double crochet in that very first chain, so it'll be your increased chain. Then you're just going to go along the row as usual, placing 1 double crochet in every chain. And then once you reach the very last chain, you are going to be placing 2 double crochets through the last chain. So I'm just going to be repeating this process over and over again until I have the length that I need to cover the back portion of the bikini. This is not the front, this is the back. So just have it go up until it fully covers your backside. And then I will come back and show you how to do the front side, and then we will work on the design portion of the high waist. So I will let you know how many rows that ends up being for my size small to medium, but of course always measure it against yourself to get the size that will fit you the best. So I've done a total of 15 rows. This covers the majority of my backside, but I mean, if you need to have it bigger, that's totally fine. You just want it to cover the majority. And then now I am going to be adding 2 more rows of just regular double crochets without increasing, just because this is going to be a high-waisted. So I do want it to come up a little bit, but I don't want it to wrap too much around my hips, because we are going to have a tie along the middle. So However many rows you think you need to do to cover the majority, stop there and then add a few more rows of just regular double crochets without increasing. So I'm going to chain 2, flip over my work, and we've normally been crocheting in that very first chain that's connected to the chain 2. I'm going to skip over that and place it in the very next chain of the row. Place 1 double crochet. I'm just going to go along the row placing double crochets, and then at the very last chain I'm not going to add 2 double crochets like we've been doing. I'm just going to place 1. So and then chain 2, flip over your work, do 1 more row, 1 or 2 more rows. I'm probably just going to do 2 rows of regular double crochets. Then once I'm finished, I will show you how to start on the front side. So now that I'm finished with my additional 2 rows of no increases, I'm just going to cut and tie. Just wrap the yarn around the hook, pull through all the way, and then just pull that tightly to knot that. Now all I'm going to do is flip over to the bottom, and I'm going to reattach my yarn just through the very last chain here. So just tie that with a double knot. Now to get started on the front side, just place your hook through that same chain you just attached your thread to, yarn over, pull through. Now you have your loop and you're ready to begin. So just chain 2 to start the row. Then you're going to be placing, so you have a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have a total of 8 chains in this row, and it is kind of hard to see where the chain is because you are crocheting along the back side of the chain. So just make sure you have a total of 8 double crochets. This chain 2 counts as 1, so just place 7 more. Try and get it in the tops of the double crochet beneath it. Okay, so now I have a total of 8. All I'm going to do is chain 2, flip over your work, and on the back side we immediately started increasing on the second row. On this second row we are just going to continue to do straight double crochets, 1 in each chain. We are not increasing on this first chain that's connected to the chain 2. We are going into the very next one, placing our double crochet. Now to begin on row 3, we are going to chain 2, flip over your work, and again we are not increasing on this row either. For the front half of the bikini, you do want it to be a little bit more narrow towards the bottom part, and then we're going to increase on the 4th row. So for the 3rd row, again we are not increasing on this first chain. We are going into the very next chain after that, placing our double crochet, and then 1 double crochet in each chain for row 3. So now we have our 3 rows of just basic double crochets. We are going to start increasing on row 3, so chain 2. Now we're going to go back into that same pattern we did for the back side. We are placing a double crochet, and that very first chain connected to the chain 2, that counts as 2 double crochets in 1 chain. So then just in the very next chain, place 1 double crochet, the next chain 1. So 1 double crochet in every chain. On the very last chain of this row, we are going to be placing 2 double crochets. So now I'm at the last chain of the row. I'm going to place 2 double crochets in this 1 chain, and then just repeat that process over and over until, well, let's see. So I'm just going to continue my 12 rows of increases. The last 2 rows of the front side, I am not going to increase. So I hope that makes sense. But yes, so this is what I'm going to be doing. I will come back once I'm finished with the top portion. So now I'm finished with the front portion of the bikini bottom. So I have the 3 regular rows of double crochets, no increases. I have 12 rows of increase and then 2 rows at the top with no increase. So now we are finished with the base. If you wanted just a bikini, you're basically done, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do some detailing on the top to make it a high waist. So the detailing I'm doing is going to be really simple. I do plan on having another bikini high-waisted pattern with a lot more details, flowers, and whatever, but this is just going to be a bottom to match the halter top in my previous video. So this is just also a good way if you're a beginner and you want to practice something a little bit more simple before you get into more complicated patterns. This is the perfect pattern for you. So now all I'm going to do to begin on the portion of design for the high waist, I'm just going to chain 2, flip over my work. I'm going to chain an additional 1 at the top. And then this chain is connected to your chain 2. We're going to continue to ignore that. I'm going to skip over the very next chain and place a double crochet in the chain after. Okay, then I'm going to chain 1, skip the very next chain and place a double crochet in the chain after. So I'm just going to continue that of chaining 1, skipping a double crochet, placing a double crochet in the chain after. Or skipping a chain, placing a double crochet. You know what I mean. So I'm just going to continue this for the remainder of this row. So now I've reached the end of the row and I didn't have enough chain spaces, and I do have 1 chain left in the row. That's totally fine. I just placed my double crochet. I'm not chaining 1. I'm just going to go into the very last chain and place a double crochet. So the end of this row will have 2 double crochets, which isn't that big of a deal. So now I'm just going to chain 2 to begin the next row, flip over my work, and since this is 2 double crochets at the very end, I'm just going to go into the very first chain, the top of the double crochet beneath it, and place 1 double crochet. If you end up having a even number of rows so that you don't have this, then just ignore this and you're going to okay, so if you do have 2, do what I did. If you don't have 2 double crochets at the end, then at the beginning of your row, pretend this is your chain 2. You're just going to chain 1 and then skip over the box, place your double crochet in the very first double crochet beneath it. So yeah, we're just going to be repeating the pattern of the row beneath it, placing a double crochet, chaining 1, skipping the space and placing a double crochet in the double crochet beneath it. So we're going to have 2 rows of this box design. I'm going to just finish this row and come back for row 3. So now I've reached the end of my second row of design. All I'm going to do is chain 2, flip over my work, and then going to prepare for a double crochet, and this time I'm just going to go straight through that center, placing my hook through that first square, placing 1 double crochet, prepare for a double crochet, place a double crochet in the double crochet beneath it. So we are not going to be creating spaces in this row. We're just going to be doing a regular row of double crochet. So after you're finished with the row of regular double crochet, then we're going to go back into making the spaces. So I'm just going to chain 2, flip over, chain 1. We're going to skip the chain connected to the chain 2, skip the very first chain, and place a double crochet in the chain after. Chain 1, skip a chain, place a double crochet. So now we're just going to do this, and you can continue this pattern for as many rows as you would like, however high you want your high waist to be. So you can continue this box pattern for as high as you would want your high-waisted bottoms to be. I'm probably gonna stop here only because I'm almost out of yarn. That's a really sad reason, but I'm sorry. Too lazy to go get some more. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna do for this pattern. I think it would look cute, honestly, with like 1 or 2 more rows of the box pattern, just because then it'll be like up to your belly button. But yeah, I'm gonna stop there. All you do is cut and tie. And in retrospect, when I finished the back piece, I should have just continued and did that design on that first. I don't know why I didn't, but it would be easier to do it that way. But all I'm gonna do is just reattach, do 2 rows of boxes, a row of double crochet, and a row of boxes. And then that's all. I will come back once I finish with that. I'm basically just gonna repeat the same thing, so I'm not gonna show it just to save time, but I will come back and show you how I attach the sides. So yeah, I will be back once I'm finished with the back portion. So once you're finished with the front and the back panel design, ideally you should do a few more rows. This is literally all the yarn I have left, and I don't have any more yarn with me right now, so I'm just going to show you how I'm going to go about doing the strap. So all I'm going to do is make a slip knot, and then I'm just going to make a basic chain. You want this to be really long, so yeah, once you just make a super long chain, all you're going to do is start weaving it along these sides to connect the 2 sides together. So what I would do is I'm just gonna line it up, and since I don't have any string, I'm just gonna show you. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. This is like such a bad tutorial for these side pieces, but this is literally all you do. It's pretty self-explanatory. So all I would do is I would just weave it. I'm just going to show you with this string. I'm just going to weave it so that it crosses over, and really you just place it through any space along the side, and then just go all the way down. And I'm gonna have mine tie at the bottom when I get more string, but for the sake of uploading this tutorial soon, I'm just going to crisscross it like that. So once it's through the back again, I'm just gonna twist them, go front to back, placing it through any random chain that it'll go through. Really does not matter. But yeah, so that's basically it for this tutorial. Once you're finished weaving in the sides, then you are completely done. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry that I couldn't show you how I would do the whole thing with more pattern, but all I would do is just add more box pattern because I think that's really cute and it matches the top. But yeah, so once you're finished with that, then you are completely done with the bikini bottom. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any other requests for patterns, please let me know. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day, and I will see you in my next video.